Hi, today we'd like to speak about stakeholder and shareholder models of corporate governance uh, and how it would impact the corporate decisions. Yes. What is corporate governance? Corporate governance is a system of rules, practices, and processes by which companies controlled and directed. It established framework of checks and balance between shareholders and stakeholders, ensuring transparency, accountability, and ethical behavior of the to drive long-term sustainability. Who is shareholder? Shareholder owns the part of company through stock like shares. A stakeholder is anyone impacted by or interested in the company's performance. All shareholders are stakeholders, but not all stakeholders are shareholders. Both are important for an organization. Shareholder model. Shareholder model primarily focused on maximizing profits to shareholder. It assumes that company's main responsibility is to increase shareholder wealth like, by profit maximization. What is stakeholder model? It This model is focused on interest of all groups affected by the company, including employees, customers, suppliers, creditors, government agencies, and communities. Its main principles are long-term sustainability rather than short-term profit, ethical and social responsible decision-making, inclusive governance that considers stakeholder opinions, a balanced approach to resolving stakeholder conflicts. I would like to speak about agency theory here to understand the relationship between shareholder and stakeholder. What is agency theory? Agency theory, it all starts with two parties, principal and another one is agent. The principal is the owner of the business or shareholder. Agent is the key employee such as director or employees who is perform the tasks on behalf of owner. Agent is accountable to shareholder, that means answerable. At the end, they would ask questions. Agency means relationship between shareholder and stakeholder. In short, this is all what is agency theory. If you are hiring someone to do your job, he is accountable to you on behalf of you. Why do we need why did we need an agency theory? Why? If you take a brief of evaluation of business, earlier period, the one man did everything, every work in a short business. The business is small and doing every work with him or herself. No agency needed. But gradually, the business models developed and technology developed. The cannot handle single man. Pressure increased, workload increased. So need to hire someone to do the jobs. In order to expand the business, to hire the someone, it creates a separation of ownership and control. Some person have ownership and some person have control. That's why agency theory. That's why corporate governance needed. With that, I would like to talk about what is agency problem, how it creates. After segregation of duties to agents like managers and employees, it will create separation of goals based on individuals' expectations. For an example, for the managers or employees, there would always be a short-term goals like bonuses and incentives, etc. For the shareholders, they have always have a long-term expectation like long-term profits and long-term wealth. This will create a conflict between two parties. we can have a good real world example to understand the agency problem. That is the most famous case in early 2000 period. That is Enron scandal. The Enron was an American entity. That company has collapsed by its executives or top board of the executives of em- employees concealed the massive debts and manipulated the financial statement to present to company as more profitable than it actually was. That is called poor corporate governance. What happened? Board of directors failed to properly monitor the management activities that allowed to do people to engage in unethical behavior through accountable. Lack of transparency, billion of dollars debts of in the financial statements, balance sheet. As a result, stakeholders received misleading information about the company's financial health. This will create a conflict of interest. How the auditor of the company, who is the consultant of the who is both auditor and consultant of the company, also convinced subsequently he would have to dissolve his firm. Executives prioritized the financial gain and the selling price growth over ethical conduct. They they encourage the aggressive accounting practices to inflate profits and maintain investor confidence. Company heavily focused on increasing shareholder wealth in a short term while ignoring the interest of employees and customers and other stakeholders. When collapsed, thousands of employees lost their jobs and retirement savings, as well as investors lost billions of investments. What the lesson we can understand this case? This illustrates how weak corporate governance can lead to a fraud, loss of stakeholder trust, and corporate failure. We can understand the importance of both models, and organization should adopt a balanced approach including both models to achieving their objectives and making the effective decisions, and also for a sustainable growth. For Thank you.